In today's video, I want to take a look at Take-Two possibly maybe unveiling when Borderlands 3 is finally going to be released. They say that 2K Games is working on some sort of unannounced game, and based on their statement, the only game I can think of is Borderlands 3, and they are saying it's going to arrive in the next fiscal year. Want to take a look at their exact statement, and speaking of Take-Two, they also talked about Red Dead Redemption 2 and just how well that game has done from a commercial standpoint, and spoiler alert, it's done very, very well. Cyberpunk 2077 is one of the most anticipated upcoming games, probably won't be released in 2019, but CD Projekt Red are hard at work at that, and they have amassed a gigantic studio and team of people working on the game. Want to look at that. Also, Apex Legends has been taking the gaming world by storm. How many people have played it? Well, a ton, and the creators of the game are saying that console crossplay is possible in the future. And speaking of EA, they've confirmed new Titanfall, Plants vs. Zombies, and Need for Speed experiences are coming this year, so that's pretty interesting, and Square Enix is gonna host NieR Automata's 2nd anniversary live stream. Wanna speculate as to what we might be seeing as a part of that. First up, Take-Two Games talked about a lot of different things during their quarterly earnings call, and specifically, they mentioned that 2K Games has a new unannounced game from one of its, quote, biggest franchises in the pipeline, and they said it'd come in the next fiscal year. Now, you take a look at what games 2K Games have in their library, I really can't think of anything else this could possibly be other than Borderlands 3. That definitely fits the description of biggest franchise, and we definitely know that Gearbox is working on a new Borderlands game, Borderlands 3. We don't know how far along it is, and it's so surprising because I would have expected to see this game be released probably last year, or at least be announced earlier than that. And specifically, Take-Two CEO Strauss Zelnick said this, quote, "In terms of the unannounced 2K title, that is very much on track, and we expect it to stay on track, and we have very high expectations." So you think about that quote, what other franchise would really give them high expectations other than Borderlands? I can't think of something. Yes, the sports franchises do very well from 2K, but those are games that we already know are in the works. This is an unannounced game, and you would think that Borderlands 3 would be that game. Now, because he said next fiscal year, the fiscal year does end on March 2020, so that doesn't necessarily mean the game would be released this year. You would think it would be a fall 2019 release, but it could also be a release into early 2020. So just keep that in mind, but if I had to give my speculation, I think 2019 is finally going to be the year we see Borderlands 3 be released. Bear in mind that Borderlands 2 was released all the way back in 2012. The pre-sequel was released in 2014, but that really was more of the same, and then 2015 we did have the Handsome Collection. So Borderlands has just been a missing franchise for a very long time. However, it has recently reappeared in the fact that a Borderlands 1 remaster looks to be released on the PlayStation 4 very soon. How about you announce a Borderlands 3 and maybe you bundle in the Borderlands 1 remaster with pre-orders or a special edition or a season pass, something like that. We've seen Ubisoft do it, and it seems to have worked out pretty well for Ubisoft. I could see Take-Two taking notes from that. Again, that latter portion is just speculation on my part, but I think we're going to be seeing Borderlands 3 very, very soon. And speaking of which, just how well has Red Dead Redemption 2 done commercially? Well, it's done very well. They have announced that it has shipped over 23 million copies worldwide. Now, that is 23 million copies shipped. Those are physical copies, of course. There's gonna be a couple gamers that are buying the game digitally, so this game has just done insanely well. Red Dead Redemption 2 just released back in late October, and for the game to already reach this threshold of nearly 25 million copies before, what, 6 months of the game being released? It hasn't even been 4 months. Safe to say that Take-Two is going to make an obscene amount of money from Red Dead Redemption 2, and it's a game that they're probably going to try to monetize for the long haul with Red Dead Online. And while that hasn't been a perfect experience, I'm sure they could get it at a better state in the future, and we'll see how that pans out, but they've already made obscene amounts of money with Red Dead Redemption 2. Of course, they also poured in a lot of money creating those games. Just every Rockstar game, whether it be Grand Theft Auto 5, whether it be Red Dead Redemption 2, yes, they sell very well, but there's a quality threshold that they have to meet, and to meet that quality threshold, you have to sink so many millions of dollars into the development of the game, so you could see that it kind of needs to sell this well for them to justify continuing to do more Red Dead Redemption games, to continue to do more Grand Theft Auto games, but considering the quality they deliver, their future games are just going to sell very, very well. Speaking of a developer that has a quality threshold to meet, CD Projekt Red is definitely one of them. After the excellence that was The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt, their next project is Cyberpunk 2077, and gamers are expecting a tremendous RPG out of that, and CD Projekt Red is hard at work on it. Specifically, in an interview with Polish publication Stockwatch, CD Projekt Red's investor relations director Karolina Nas said that over 400 developers are currently working on Cyberpunk 2077. That is a massive team. Sometimes we'll talk about games that have a relatively small studio of only, 10 to 20 people working on it. For Cyberpunk 2077, 400 developers are working on the game. Now, to keep 400 developers employed, of course, that means that they are sinking an incredible amount of money into the development of the game, and that's 400 people working on the game. You're not even taking into account things like marketing and all of the other elements where you have to sink a lot of money. Safe to say that CD Projekt Red is going big with Cyberpunk 2077. They're spending a lot of money, but if you look at every game that's been announced for the PlayStation 4, this might be the most anticipated PS4 game. Of course, it's going to be on the Xbox One and PC as well. It could very well be on next generation platforms as well. If next generation consoles are due out in 2020, I don't see Cyberpunk 2077 out this year, so I could see this game being a 2020 release, and at that point, you would think it would either be a cross-generation release or it would see a release on the PS4, and then a PlayStation 5 version would come down the line, maybe in the form of a Game of the Year edition or something like that. I do think it's a foregone conclusion that Cyberpunk 2077 will be on the PlayStation 4 and the PlayStation 5. But again, for now, we know 400 people are hard at work on the game, so I would have pretty high expectations just on the basis that it's a CD Projekt Red title. Moving on from that, a game that has taken the gaming world by storm is the free-to-play Battle Royale title in Apex Legends. Who would have thought that an EA-published, Respawn-developed free-to-play Battle Royale title would have resonated as well as it has with gamers, but Apex Legends has become a phenomenal success. Vince Zampella, CEO of Respawn Entertainment, tweeted out this: 10 million, so amazed. Apex hit 10 million in 72 hours. And he attached a picture, 10 million players, thank you, Legends. Yes, 10 million people are playing Apex Legends across PC, Xbox One, and PlayStation 4. And that is an insanely high number. We've seen other Battle Royale games be released, whether it be PUBG on PS4, whether it be H1Z1. None of those games have had the traction that Apex Legends have had. Apex Legends has been the one game where it's actually seemed like a legitimate threat to Fortnite, and that's great. You always want competition because that is going to drive both games forward. And what's great about this is Respawn is finally getting credit that they deserve as a gaming studio. They put out some great games with Titanfall 1 and 2, but Titanfall 2 just didn't resonate from a commercial standpoint. Apex Legends has, and yes, it's a free-to-play game, but 10 million people playing the game, it's doing incredibly well, and this is going to be a game Respawn is going to focus on going into the future, and they are saying that console crossplay is planned for the future. So if you're on PlayStation 4 and we can play with people on Xbox One, whatever platform Apex Legends is released on in the future, that would be fantastic. Of course, we have seen PlayStation open the doors for crossplay with games like Fortnite and Rocket League, and hopefully Apex Legends joins that lineup as well. Now, with the release of Apex Legends, you might be wondering, is there a new Titanfall game in the works? That's what Respawn was known for, and of course, Respawn is working on Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, but it looks like a new Titanfall game is also coming this year. This is specifically coming from EA COO Blake Jorgensen. He said, quote, "Elsewhere in the business, we're making adjustments to improve execution and we're refocusing research and development. Looking forward, we're delighted to launch Anthem, our new IP, to grow Apex Legends and related Titanfall experiences, to deliver new Plants vs. Zombies and Need for Speed titles, and to add Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order to our sports titles in the fall." Now, they specifically said grow Apex Legends and related Titanfall experiences, so does that mean a Titanfall 3 is in the works? I think at some point we will be getting a Titanfall 3, especially now that you have Apex Legends as this inherent promotional tool. Now more so than ever, you can actually get gamers excited for a Titanfall 3 because you're parlaying off of Apex Legends. While that's not directly a Titanfall game, it's still within the universe. You can use it as a promotional tool, and this is just incredibly genius. It's something that I did not see coming, and as much flack as EA gets, from a marketing standpoint, they absolutely got it right with Apex Legends. Now, I don't know who made that decision. Was that a Respawn decision? Was that an EA decision? But they knocked it out of the park with this one. Now, as far as a new Need for Speed title goes, the Need for Speed franchise has been very hit or miss this generation. I thought the launch title in Rivals was very good, but since then, the games have been pretty terrible, so hopefully a new Need for Speed game could be okay, but I think that franchise needs a lot of work for it to be remedied. And lastly, I do quickly want to note that Square Enix is going to be hosting NieR Automata's 2nd anniversary live stream. This will be held on their Twitch channel February 20th at 8 p.m. Japanese time. It'll be held at a small cafe, and what are they going to be announcing at this stream? I don't really know. I would imagine some NieR Automata Final Fantasy XIV crossover content. We already know that's coming. I guess you could show off some of the new NieR Automata Game of the Yorha edition stuff. I mean, people kind of know what to expect out of that. Could we see the announcement of a new game? I don't know. Maybe a Nintendo Switch port? That's something I think a lot of gamers would like to see. I think NieR is a franchise that's here to stay. NieR Automata did very well from a sales standpoint. I think much better than Square Enix had imagined, and considering that Square Enix has had some franchises and games not do all too well this generation, whether it be Final Fantasy 15, Shadow of the Tomb Raider, Just Cause 4, NieR Automata has been one that's been a pretty big success, and I imagine that NieR as a franchise would continue going into the future, especially with Platinum Games at the helm. But again, that second anniversary live stream will be held February 20th, 8 p.m. Japanese time. And that's gonna conclude this video. Again, it looks like Borderlands 3 is gonna be coming before March 2020. If I had to speculate, I do think it's gonna be released in 2019. I imagine that the game is pretty far along in development at this point, and I think it's about ready to be released. They just haven't shown much of it, following something similar to what Bethesda did with Fallout 4. However, what we do know is Red Dead Redemption 2 has been a colossal success, shipping over 23 million copies worldwide. 400 developers are working on Cyberpunk 2077. Apex Legends has been a colossal success. 10 million people are playing it right now. I imagine it's going to continue to grow, and console crossplay might be coming in the future. New Titanfall, Plants vs. Zombies, and Need for Speed experiences are coming this year, and Square Enix is going to be hosting NieR Automata's second anniversary livestream on February 20th. That's going to conclude this video. Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.